Hello and welcome to Mexico. I arrived here a couple of days ago after my expedition in Greenland, which was honestly one of the most insane and challenging trips I've ever done. So we left Sweden a month ago and I then went to East Greenland for a snowmobiling expedition. This was my photo workshop with David Gibbon and we saw 2 polar bears, lots of amazing Arctic wildlife. However, we experienced some insane, extreme wind conditions. It was honestly quite trippy because the wind was so intense, it was literally sideways, pushing all this snow, and it made you feel like you were going really fast even though you weren't really moving much at all. I actually got motion sickness just from how crazy it was. It was just mad. Amazing, but mad. After a dark winter in Sweden, it's so nice to be back in Mexico to soak up some sun and have some warmth. Juan and I are staying at this beautiful family-owned hotel, Hacienda Gobernadores. Horses literally used to stay in this courtyard 200 years ago. So if you're visiting Mexico City, I can highly recommend it, and I'll leave the link for the hotel in the description. Before I show you Mexico City, I thought I'd take you back to when we visited the Yucatan and Cancun area and I discovered the reality and conflicts of wildlife tourism. If you didn't know, Mexico is home to one of the wonders of the world, Chichen Itza. Built by the ancient Mayan civilization, it's an incredible sight full of mystery. Since it was quite the drive, we visited a nature reserve on the way back, Punta Laguna, a spider monkey nature reserve.
That's a tree.
This was my favourite location the last time Juan and I visited, and we wanted to share it with my family. I actually followed spider monkeys for 3 months for my dissertation in the rainforest in Costa Rica. So it always feels special to see them again. Baby girl. Today we've come to Punta Laguna, which is a spider monkey nature reserve. There's 2 spider monkeys behind me. We've already seen probably 10 and 2 tiny babies, and it's been amazing because it's actually been the first time my parents have ever seen monkeys, and it's pretty cool. The first monkeys are spider monkeys. The older the spider monkeys become, the darker the rings around their eyes become. Photography in the rainforest can be tricky, as the thick canopy blocks a lot of light. In the evening, spider monkeys travel to their sleeping trees, and they soon disappeared into the forest. So another spot I love is the Xian Khan Nature Reserve. And a very chubby, silly raccoon had found the most awkward place to sleep. It was quite amusing watching him try and get comfy. Today we've come to the Xian Khan Nature Reserve and we've already seen a very adorable raccoon. It was sleeping in a palm tree and it's the first raccoon I've actually ever filmed, so that was really nice. But today we're hopefully going to see some monkeys, maybe spider monkeys or howler monkeys. It wasn't long before we spotted some resting spider monkeys. So we've just spotted one spider monkey, a female, and it's insane how many mosquitoes there are. I don't think we're going to last long today, but maybe we can spot some howler monkeys, maybe some more spider monkeys. When we were here last time there were no mosquitoes and now it's actually horrendous. Not quite like Sweden, but pretty bad. Thank you Squarespace for sponsoring this video. My shop's closed for now, but my website felt a bit empty. But with Squarespace, it was super easy to freshen things up. I added a short bio right on my homepage and shifted the focus to upcoming photography trips. I love how you can just duplicate an existing page and keep the same layout, and it makes it super consistent. My website doesn't need to feel super corporate. I want it to feel fun, personal, and easy to explore. And Squarespace makes that possible. If you want to give Squarespace a go, head to squarespace.com/daniconnorwild and you can save 10% off a new purchase of a website or a domain. The following day we headed to a cenote. These cenotes are natural sinkholes filled with fresh water. The ancient Maya considered them sacred, believing they were gateways to the underworld. We just went into the cave, or the cenote, and it's basically an underground freshwater cave, and millions of years ago this used to be the sea. Oh my god, what is buzzing around me? Literally just got attacked by, I think they're called sweat bees. And there's one still in my hair. Two in my hair, I can hear one here. So we went into these underground caves, loads of bats, freshwater fish, and I can still hear it's in my hair. So I'm going to try and get these out of my hair. So far I've shown you the highlights of our trip, but I was actually quite surprised with how wildlife is being exploited. Returning back to the Cancun, Yucatan area really surprised me. I love Latin America, I love Mexico. I was quite shocked at how wildlife is being exploited in this area. So my first what the F experience was when I got rammed in the back of my head by a canoe whilst snorkeling, looking for turtles. Juan and I have been to this beach called Akumal a few times during COVID, and we had some absolutely magical experiences swimming with green turtles. However, now the beach has been entirely cornered off, and the law in Mexico is that anyone has access to the beach, even if it's private land. Everyone has access to the sea, but not this beach. The turtles have been completely exploited, and now even the locals and the communities don't have access to the wildlife. So I went snorkeling regardless, and this guy started following me and basically went straight into the back of my head without even communicating to me. So there was no conversation, he just rammed me. And the truth is, I love paying local guides or local people who know about the wildlife, they care, they're passionate, but this was not the case. The only way to actually see the turtles now is to go in these massive groups, 10-15 people basically following one turtle and it's just not ethical. The other massive shock I had when I went to Cancun, and I still can't believe that this place exists. There is a place on the high street where you can take photos of baby jaguars, baby spider monkeys, baby lions, and this place always seems to have baby animals, no mother. And what happens to the cubs when they become teenagers and they don't want to sit on someone's lap? Please never visit these places. It is a perfect example of wildlife exploitation. It was not long ago that a lot of these areas were wild spaces, whether rainforest or jungle, and the rise in tourism has led to mass deforestation, clearing of land, and more Airbnbs, hotels, etc. And there is definitely a way to feed the demand in tourism and still coexist with nature. Many animals such as coatis have moved back into towns that were once jungle, and this has led to a lot of conflict. Coatis are a bit like rainforest raccoons. They are opportunistic omnivores and they can pretty much eat anything. But they've become a nuisance because they raid bins, and it was quite sad seeing them scavenge on rubbish. So in the description, I'm going to put some locations that I think you definitely should visit in the Cancun, Yucatan area, and some that you definitely should avoid. I think it's very easy on social media to not share the true story and to just show the highlights, and there are so many amazing places you can access wildlife, support communities and conservation. I was a bit disappointed with what I found in the Yucatan and Cancun area. Let's go to Mexico City, my absolute favorite city. This was filmed during the Dia de los Muertos festivities, also known as Day of the Dead. So tonight is Dia de los Muertos and we are going to make a little offering. It's similar to a shrine. Stole some flowers and we've printed some photos. I always love visiting Mexico City. It's vibrant, full of culture and art, surprisingly green, and the food is always incredible. And that's a little look at the city and our time in the Yucatan. I still think there's so much to love, especially when you find those quieter, more ethical spots. I hope you've enjoyed this mix of jungle, rainforest, and a bit of chaotic city. Now that I'm back from Greenland and recovered, well, I had a tapeworm. I won't go into that. A story for another time, maybe. Anyway, since I'm back, I'm posting more frequently, so you can expect more regular videos. And I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you probably next week. Bye!